Welcome. Welcome to Thoughts Roundup. Well, it seems though my light might not be just right today. But anyway, I'm going ahead and make the program because I need to hurry and get it done. Because I want to have one today. And I enjoy being with you, and I thank you for listening. And musings, I guess, is what you'd say it is sometimes. I woke up this morning thinking about Brother Charles Grisham. Brother Grisham was such a big part of all of our lives, and his name was on almost every brochure that went out. He preached everywhere. He preached everywhere. Folks, this is a best cup of coffee. Sometimes a cup is just good, and sometimes it's better. But anyway, Brother Grisham, he was a preaching machine, as they said. And we all loved him. Everybody loved Charles Grisham. If they didn't, there'd be something wrong with them. And he still got his sons here. And they still miss him so very much. Mark and Greg, and then he's got Sherry, his daughter, that's so much like him. I call her Little Grish sometimes because that's what we call Grisham. His close friends call him Grish. And hadn't seen Sister Grisham but once, I think, since he passed. Then, of course, you know, when you're old as I am, people ask you about preachers. G.A. Mangan was my pastor. He was the pastor that I had when I went off to Bible school with Carl McKellar and Kenneth Phillips. We drove in Kenneth's little old Chevrolet then. It was kind of old then. I had to drive all the way because they wrestled and cut up in the back seat. Fought and play fought, you know. And then, you know, there's some of the ones that people still are asking about, and they're a certain age that ask about these. They're up a little bit in age. There's some of the older preachers that the younger ones don't know enough to ask about anymore. I'd say 45, 50 years old. Don't know to ask about some of them. But they still ask about J.T. Pugh. Every once in a while someone says, tell me about Brother Pugh. Well, Brother Pugh was a mystery. He was a sharp man. He was a great preacher. And he mesmerized you when he stepped to that pulpit. And he used a lot of fancy phrases and this and that at times. He had a sharp, sharp memory. He could memorize anything. And of course, one of the great preachers, Cleveland Becton. That's also Brother Ronnie Becton's father. And of course, Brother Ronnie Beckton is married to Brother Grisham's daughter. I will just give you that little bit of a hint right there, information. And of course, ever so often somebody asks me about, oh, let me go back to Brother Pugh. I was there the first night he preached, when he preached your first night in hell. I was there. But Brother Foss in Houston, I'm asked about him because he was a serious preacher. He preached on hell, and you could just almost smell the sulfur. And then there was Brother Oliver Foss, which was big in the merger and stuff, the UPC, and I preached for him. That's how old I am. I preached for him, and then I preached for his son, Arlen Ray, and I preached for his grandson. Now, how you like that? Well, Brother V.A. Gidrose, people don't ask about Brother Gidrose as much because it's too long ago. He has a son that's preaching, Ronnie Gidrose, preaches a lot like his daddy in a way. You can see the tint of his dad in his preaching. And they both have just a little bit of the French accent left because V.A. Gidrose came from out of the swamps of Louisiana. Oh, if you get some tapes if you can get any tapes of any of these people. And, well, now we come down to Tommy Kraft. Tommy Kraft. Ooh, do I miss him. He hasn't been gone from us but just a few months. And I miss him all the time. I miss him all the time. Brother Tommy Kraft. He has 2 daughters, Sherry, which incidentally is married to Brother Grisham, Mark Grisham, and also Vonda. And he has a sister, I believe, named Mary. Anyway, I miss him so very much. But I find it out that there are people who would like to know a little bit about them. Now, one high mark about all these people is, of course, Brother G.A. Mangan, he could preach. He was a good preacher, but he wouldn't go preach anywhere, hardly at all. He said, no, I got to stay home, pastor my church. I just stay here. He said, and one time I came by and he said, oh, see, would you go preach a camp meeting in West Virginia? I said, well, I've not been asked. He said, well, I'll tell them. A little while said, they want you to come. He just didn't want to go. He just did not want to preach a camp meeting. But all these people had one thing in common. They were good preachers. Tommy Kraft would get up and you'd wonder what he was doing and what he was really saying. But I want to tell you what, when it got time for altar call, you knew what he was saying and doing because he had effect. He had an effect on people. I'm going to tell you something else about Brother Tommy Kraft. Tommy Kraft had so much wisdom. So much wisdom. If somebody asked him a question, and maybe they had a problem, and they'd come and ask Brother Kraft or call him and ask him, listen, I'm going to tell you whatever answer he came up with, and used it right off the cuff, you could take it to the bank. It was good. It was good. So anyway, y'all, thank you for letting me ramble today. And I'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. God bless.